Hey guys, looks like if the woman who has been trying to break up homes and families and marriages for the past couple of years, looks like if her marriage is now in jeopardy. So, Miss Jaguar Wright has called the cops on her husband for pulling a GUN on her. Now, she's got this young man around her. I don't know where he's staying at. Is he staying in her home or is he staying in a hotel? Because she said they've been knowing each other for the past 2 weeks. And it's all love. And they met on some set. She was doing some podcast and she met him there 2 weeks ago. And because they vibed so well, she asked him now to be part of her production. So she brought him on board to be some executive producer or some bullshit. All right? In any event, she said she's been knowing him for 2 weeks. For the last 3 days, they have spent 24 hours together in her car. So that tells me he don't have no type of dwelling to go to. Okay? They're in the car. She's refusing to go back home because she's afraid to go home because she don't know what her husband is going to do because he pulled a GUN on her. She had to call the cops. So she is telling this to Kingpin. You know, he has his own podcast. So she called him and she's telling him what's going on in her life, giving him an exclusive on the rundown. And this young man is sitting beside her. And this young man is supposed to be from, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Carbonation with Nature Boy. Well, Solar was the light-skinned fellow who was always by Nature Boy's side. And Solar said he was side by side with Nature Boy more than his own wife. And so this Solar, a lot of people are saying that Jaguar should be very cautious of him because she don't know what he's all about. She just met this guy 2 weeks ago. Now, one of the subscribers said that it was a time when Nature Boy's wife was put in a circle and everybody in Carbonation held hands and locked her in that circle and he beat the shit out of her. Okay? She could not escape the circle because she couldn't be let out. And so Nature Boy put a whipping on her that she would never forget. Now, Nature Boy is now in jail because he was running a cult and he was pretty much defrauding people out of their money. So he's now sitting in jail. Now, this guy, Solar, is no longer with the Carbonation because he said that it has been disbanded since Nature Boy went into the prison system. He left and everybody left after. But he said that he's 27 years old. And I'm saying to myself, what the hell is Jaguar Wright? She got to be about 50 by now. What is she doing sleeping in a car for 3 days with a man she just met 2 weeks ago? She don't know if he got COVID. She don't know if he got respiratory infection like TB. And when you're enclosed in such a small confined space, you can catch it. You can catch TB that way. All right? By the aerosol that's coming out of your mouth, just talking, you can give that person it, okay? So I'm thinking, what the hell is wrong with this woman? Now, he's in the car with her talking about his woman, that he and his woman were not getting along. And Jaguar Wright said that's why Jag and her husband got into an argument over Solar and his woman. And I'm saying to myself, why would they get into an argument concerning this man that Jaguar Wright just met 2 weeks ago? And incidentally, folks, Solar's woman is Nature Boy's woman, Nature Boy's so-called wife. That's the woman he's talking about. Nature Boy went into the penitentiary and he picked up with his wife, okay, or his woman. So this is the character of the person I'm talking about. He condones women being beaten because when Nature Boy put that young lady in the circle and beat her ass to a pulp, someone should have said, no, I'm not about this. I'm not about violence on women. But he was one of the ones that held hands and made sure she got that whipping. And now he wants to sit there in Jaguar's car, and act like if he's so holier than thou when he's been screwing Nature Boy's wife while he's in the penitentiary. To me, his character is not on the up and up. But here's what both of them had to say. They were being interviewed by Kingpin on his show, but Kingpin was kind of like, he said, how long have you known Jaguar? And he said, very, very coy, forever. And Jaguar Wright is the one who said she just knew him for 2 weeks. He was trying to whitewash it and gloss over it, but Jaguar brought it out in the open. There's a lot that he was trying to cover up that Jaguar was speaking about. Jaguar said it's no longer Carbon Nation, it's Carbon Island. And I saw him turn to her and saying like this little wink eye, like shoo shoo, why you saying that? Why are you talking about that? Certain things he don't want to disclose. He, to me, is very shady. And Jaguar, these older women, sometimes they're so excited to be around these young dudes that they lose focus. To me, Jaguar Wright has lost focus because she allowed this young man to come into her life, causing confusion between she and her husband. Now, Jaguar said, we don't know the half of it because when the cameras are not rolling, she said it looks like if everything is okay between she and her husband because they're always jolly on the road and laughing and talking. But she said, no, it's not like that. He has PTSD from being in the war. And there are times that he jumps up and thinks that she's the enemy. And she's got to talk him down like, I'm friendly. I'm not the enemy. And he walks in his sleep. She said, but what pushed it over the edge that she's not going back home is because he pulled out a gun and was brandishing it and was waving it and was telling her, okay, you want to do me something? And she was scared. And the reason she said she was so scared is because he took the safety off. And I'm saying, well, that's reason to be scared. But why is she sleeping in the car? Why does she not go to a hotel and get a double room? It's cheaper to get a double room. He's on one side, this young man, his name is Solar. He's on one side, she's on the other side. It's better than just sleeping in a car and funking up the car and washing up at a truck stop or 7-Eleven or wherever they're washing up. It's nasty. Jaguar needs to get it together. She said she hit 1 million views on TikTok, I think she said. Take some of that money and go rent a hotel room if you can't go back home. So I'm going to let you guys listen to what they have to say. Here we go.
Like my crazy ass fucking husband stalking me to my ex-boyfriend's house.
Okay, stop right there. You're a married woman. You and your husband have beef. You got into a fight. What you doing going over to your ex-boyfriend's house? And you know your husband got PTSD. He got a pistol. And you gonna go over to your ex-man's house? What kind of message you want to send to your husband? Because your husband already know you cheated on your first husband. Because you told the stories of how he was cheating on you, so you pack your bags and you got on a plane with some other man. And when you was on tour, on the tour bus, were in the back there, effing Talib. So we know the stories of all the cheating that you did with your first husband. The second husband knows the story also because you told it to him. While you were telling it to us, he was in the car listening to all the stories. So this man thinking that you're going over to your ex-man's house and you're going to cheat. So what kind of message you was hoping to send him? Anyway, Here's the audio footage.
Somebody said, "What you done to him?" I said, "Nothing."
Why is it some women always play dumb and stupid that they don't know what time it is? If you are married, you say you're going over to your ex house and you're not coming back home. Now, you got this young man in the car who's 27. That's another man. He's paying you all this attention, and you married and living with your husband. And your husband have PTSD. You don't think he's going to be a little jealous? Jaguar Wright is saying, I didn't do him nothing. So Kingpin said, I think I may have to come down there to Dallas to see what's really going on. And she said, yeah, come on down. Because he's suspecting there's more to me than I hear. How you going to just met this man 2 weeks ago and you sleeping with him 24 hours in a car? You ain't going to wash your coochie anywhere? You ain't going back home? Where you washing up? At a truck stop?
He said tonight, you go wherever you want. I'm going to find you.
So she's showing out in front of this young man and he's chiming in. So at this point, Kingpin, he just stopped talking really, and he's just like, he stopped smiling. And he was just kind of listening, and he got serious. He said, you don't let nobody get into your relationship and try to mess it up. But she wasn't listening. She was busy yapping because she's got this young stud in the car, and she's feeling like a woman, like girly, I should say, and feeling good about herself. Now she's saying she don't give a damn if her marriage is over. But 2 weeks ago, she and her husband was hunky-dory and two peas in a pod. I can't help but wonder how time has changed. Look what has happened to her marriage, only because she met this young man. If she did not meet this young man, she would have worked it out with her husband, like she normally would do. But she said he had pulled a gun on her before, and she told him, if you ever pull a gun on me ever again, I'm going to leave you. So she said he pulled a gun on her yesterday, so she does not want the marriage anymore. So she says it seems as though these relationships don't work out for her. But she's not going to kill herself over it. And Kingpin was trying his best to kind of talk some sense into her and say, listen, every marriage have its ups and downs.
Yeah, that's just I'm starting to think it's a fairy tale.
Girl.
It just don't work out for me. The niggas that I really love, they all dead. And the niggas that I'm trying to make it work with.
Every relationship has
make me want to kill myself. Yeah, that's just I'm starting to think it's a fairy tale.
Girl.
It just don't work out for me. The niggas that I really love, they all dead. And the niggas that I'm trying to make it work with.
Every relationship has
make me want to kill myself.
So now Jaguar Wright decided to make a joke out of it. She says her marriage is like a living minefield, okay?
Yeah, bumps in the road is one thing, but living on an active minefield is a little different.
A lot of these guys coming back from war need therapy. And a lot of them don't get therapy. So they have these night terrors. The night... the PTSD with going back in time as to, like if they're in the war still. And if you're close by, you might get hurt if you're sleeping in the same bed with them. So there is a valid reason for her to be scared. But I even, a little sidebar here, I observe Jaguar's demeanor also. She is more happier than ever. I've never seen her this happy, and she's got a glow about her. When you first fall in love, that glow, that May, December love affair going on. I'm not saying she's having an affair, but I'm just saying she look kind of happy.
My husband is military. That nigga jump over there, you searching? Like, no. I'm a civilian. I'm your wife. Like, I come in peace. You want some brisket?
So Jaguar continues to make light of a bad situation. I guess if it's that bad and you have no kind of out except a divorce. There's only one thing to do, I guess, is to laugh about it and to joke about it. So that's what she's doing. So she told Kingpin to hold on a second. Don't say nothing else. Let me introduce my new nephew. I'm going to let my new nephew speak. This is how people get killed, all right? Or robbed. Because she has led this young man into her life. She don't know him from Adam. In her own words, she's only known him 2 weeks. And they spent 24 hours, 3 days in a car. So now Kingpin has stopped smiling totally. He's looking at this as a very serious matter that Jaguar Wright has placed herself in some type of danger.
You know what? Hold on a second. I'm gonna let my new nephew give you his unbiased opinion.
Oh, that's a fine.
Tell us
unbiased
opinion. As people pay me to get my opinions, to talk to me, to help them through their things, and I'll tell you from my standpoint, completely free.
So she puts her newfound nephew to talk to Kingpin, and immediately he struck me the wrong way. He just came off like a real hustler to me because he said, to be quite honest, I get paid to give my opinion, but this time around I'm going to give it for free. I said, who was going to pay you? I said to myself, you're assuming a lot, brother. Who's going to pay you for your 27 years of wisdom? Both of them in the car look like if they're hiding from the popo. We definitely know he don't have no place to stay because he's sleeping in the car for 3 days with a woman he just met. So he went ahead and introduced himself as King Love, and that he is going to now analyze the relationship that Jaguar have with her husband. And mind you, he just knew her for 2 weeks, probably less than that. She just rounded it off. So now he's going to say that love is not dead, but this here is not love. And, he used the time well to excoriate her husband, this man who he just met. And he probably was living with them temporarily. I don't know, it's alleged, because he don't have no place to go, as evidenced by him sleeping in the car with her. Jaguar is an intelligent woman, but a lot of times she don't show it. And he definitely is not showing it because he could have said, okay, let's go and rent a hotel room side by side. One of them doubles that are cheaper than just 2 separate rooms. But nah, he is so lawless and so worthless they call it. Guyana, they say worthless, that he's going to sleep in the car with her.
That what you said is true, and I agree with you, Payne. Love is very real. My name's King Love on Instagram. Love.
I know that's right. I'm about to leave it right
King
now.
Love, that's fine. And so, love is not dead, but love is not present in this relationship. This is a obsessive thing to where I've watched this beautiful woman who should be glowing, standing at the top, having this crazy support underneath her, and this is your king.
Okay, guys, give him an applause. The best actor in town. He just met this woman. What the hell he know about what she should be doing, what she should not be doing? He don't know what she did to her husband. Don't you hate it though when somebody comes into a situation and they have a lot to say and they just into the situation like 2 weeks, like a couple of days, but they got so much to say? And I can't stand these older women who are so desperate for a man that any young man that comes their way, they grab. And then they feel as though, I got the trophy. Yes, this is it. Let me flaunt this young man. And Jaguar Wright is in her 50s, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or late 40s. And she may be looking at this man as a trophy, this young boy, because he's only 27. But remember, he's got a woman, okay? And I'm going to tell you women something right now, young and old. It's a little sidebar. Has nothing to do with the story, but be careful with who you pick up with. And I'm going to ask the question, would you like, for those older women, would you like an old woman's problem or a young woman's problem, and vice versa for the man. Because some of these older men and women pick up with younger people, but now instead of a old person's problem, like if you pick up with someone your own age, you don't have that. You have a young person's problem on your hand because a lot of these young people are going to bring that young people's problem to you. And what you going to do then? How are you going to deal with it? You ask for it. You got to stay within your lane and date someone your own age, but now you pick up a young person, so you got a young person's problem. Anyway, getting back to Jaguar Wright.
And this is your king. This is your man. And she's being life force. And what is she doing though? You would never know it because of how much she goes to work, how much she loves, how much she gives. She's going around everywhere giving, loving. She's protected. She get it back. But from the one place where you're supposed to get it back, you don't.
Child, he would sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. Don't fall for it, Jaguar. Send that young man packing back to wherever he came from. As a matter of fact, you should be asking him, who sent you? Who sent you? But I'm telling you, people, it's a hot mess. Even Kingpin had to say, Now, he said he's speaking from experience because he got 4 wives. 4 wives does not give you the ability or the criteria to speak to a woman about her marriage. I'm sure them 4 wives are without papers. They're not legally married to you. And look like if you're not gainfully employed because you're sitting in somebody's car, sleeping in the car and talking ish. So them 4 wives are on their own, earning their own money, trying to put food on the table because you sure ain't doing it in that car. So what kind of experience you got?
No, first off, more specifically, loud safety click off, so you all know. 1 in the chamber, so you all know. And I'm over here like, I gotta protect you from your protector.
So now he coming like the knight in shining armor to protect Jaguar from her husband. Honey, this is going to get messy. All right?
I'm ready to jump in the front and take a bullet before.
And I'm not going to lie. I'm sleeping in my car tonight.
Now you guys heard that? He is willing to take a bullet for Jaguar. Just met this woman. Sounds like he is not of song mind to me. All right? You got Twiddly D and Twiddly Dum in that car. And I don't know which one is which.
That's
not true.
Well, I'm only speaking from experience, so I'm only speaking from experience in every way.
The nigga pulled a gun on me today.
Yeah, see, I love it.
Lord Jesus.
I teach gun safety as well, and he knew what he was doing, but in this moment, something
changed. He pulled a gun on you too.
In this moment,
you want to shoot? You want to shoot?
So Jaguar jumped in and said her husband pulled a gun on her today. And the young man said he teaches the gun safety also. And the husband knew what he was doing because he took the safety off. So Jaguar said she is not sleeping at home. She's sleeping in her car. And guys, when a person has been homeless for a while, they get very comfortable in sleeping in their cars. As a matter of fact, they don't even want to go into a hotel. Like Jaguar, she didn't declare that she was checking into a hotel. She preferred to sleep in her car because she's used to it, allegedly. So Kingpin said, how long you been around? And he said he's 27 years old, trying to be coy and slick. So Kingpin said, no, I mean, how long you've been around Jaguar?
Well, let's talk about King Love. How long King Love been around?
Well, I'm 27 years old. How long I've been around?
But how long have you been around Jag and Bloomberg?
I feel like I've been around them forever.
But it's not, when people think they're slick, that's how they talk. I feel as though I've been around her forever. You just met this woman 2 weeks or less, and you feel as though you've been around her forever. Why? Because you're trying to pave a way for you to sleep at nights? You better go check into a hotel, Miss Jaguar Wright, and get this man out your car. So she said she slept in the car with him for 3 nights straight. So tonight would be night number 4. But all this vetting that Kingpin is doing, asking all these questions, Jaguar should have been asking those questions. She's a so-called, supposed to be intelligent woman. She got a lot of mouth. She said she read the dictionary how many times over. She knows a lot of words, and she is of sound mind. So why did she not ask the pertinent question before she decided to bring this young man into her life to mess her marriage up? Because she said she and her husband was arguing about him before he pulled the gun. Arguing about him and his girlfriend.
But how long have you been around Jag and Goomba?
I feel like I've been around them forever. Forever.
But you're speaking about the entirety of the relationship.
No, I'm not.
I want to know how
It
long.
seems like I'm speaking of the entirety of the relationship. I'm talking about the present reality of the relationship.
Notice how he deflected and how he became argumentative and belligerent when he was confronted. And Kingpin said, I'm talking about how long you've known her in terms of you just met her for 2 weeks. How can you comment on her relationship?
What they've gone through and where they've been made beautiful. Oh, and trust me, I've seen it. I'm 4 wives in.
So he said what they've gone through and where they've been was beautiful. But he's qualified, I guess, to talk about that because he's got 4 wives now. So that's his qualification to talk about Jaguar Wright and her husband and to give her advice on what she should and should not do concerning her husband. If his 4 wives and him were so strong and so together, how come he's sleeping in Jaguar Wright's car? That's what I want to know. So Kingpin said, my. I said the same thing. My. The BS, you can see it and you can smell it.
And I just got my wife. Let me not say too much.
So he said, let me not say too much. Oh, no, you keep talking. We want to know. Inquiring minds want to know where you came from, what you left behind, what you did in the past that got you in this woman's car all cooped up with her, sleeping in the car, not even washing properly, not even checking to a hotel, not even for 1 night. Oh, no, you don't get off that easy. We want to know. Keep talking. So Jaguar steps in. She feels as though she's got to rescue him from the hot seat that Kingpin is putting him through. All these questionings.
But I know I deserve love. And I'm going to make sure that I have love. But you know what the difference between me and men, like what we experienced is that I will fight for love. And if you look on my page, my most recent video.
You know what? Hold on a second. Let me set the room. I learned that from a good friend of mine. Let me reset the room. King Love on Instagram, my new nephew Solar, is not just a visitor in my life. I've just hired him. He's going to be my full-time personal executive assistant and help me build my staff and my interns. And
personal executive assistant to help her build her staff. And I'm saying to myself, how are you going to build your staff and you sleep in your car most of the time? We see you sleeping in your car. You're not even hiding it.
So understand this. For the past 2 weeks, we've been in each other's lives. And we've pretty much been together every day since we filmed the podcast last Monday.
Okay, Miss Jaguar Wright, you got the record straight. Now I need to get it straight also. So you know him for about 2 weeks. Does that mean that you're going to move into your apartment with you and your husband? Is that what we're doing these days? Moving in strangers to mess up our marriages? So according to Jaguar, they're going to be changing the name from Carbon Nation to Carbon Island. I guess she's going to be the empress and he's going to be the emperor. And Kingpin didn't know anything about him being in no part of no cult, because that's what Carbon Nation was, a cult. The leader is sitting his ass in the penitentiary right now. So that's when Kingpin, being Jaguar's friend, who's trying to look out for her, he really became concerned and his face was dead serious, honey.
him and Shaka came on, and we began talking about, you know, what it is to be a true believer and how you get caught up in a cult. And just, and the guys, we instantly knew it. Like, the next conversation, I would love it if you could be present, because we're not calling it Carbon Nation no more. We changed the name for the refugees and the survivors.
Didn't Jaguar Wright said she got 1 million followers on TikTok or one of them channels, one of them Instagram pages or something? She can take that check and go rent herself a hotel room instead of sleeping in her car. Her coochie must be all kind of stink, sitting there for hours, just sweating in between her crotch.
Oh, you're the guy.
Yeah, I was right next to Eligio all the time, more than his wife.
He and Velvet have a dalliance and a connection and a soul tie.
Guys, stay tuned for part 2 of this video. I'm over and out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and to this video. Thank you for watching.